Beauty and the Beast, the remake here, has gotten some rather sniffy reactions, I've found. Very sniffy, in that they act as though remakes have never existed before, and as well that Disney is not making some great original product by doing this film. Well, Disney, first of all, has plenty of money, so they can make original films if they want to still. Anyways, this remake in no way really interferes with that. And Disney's original live action films really don't exactly have the best track record in terms of greatness. Was everybody really that pining for another Finest Hours? I don't think so. So I think the reaction to this has been slightly ridiculous. I mean, is it totally necessary? No, but does that make it a horrible film? No. It's true, it takes much from the original, but makes a few alterations here and there, ridding the film of the plot holes of the original film, such as the prince being like 10 years old with the Enchantress originally. It also adds in a few extra songs and a few plot points. Plot points didn't feel entirely necessary, but were okay in terms of kind of making a slightly more mature tone, and I didn't think they went too far in that regard. There's also a few additional songs, which interestingly are basically in the same places of the extra songs that you see here in the Broadway version. And I'd say all the Broadway equivalents are a little better, but, not overly, so these new songs are fine, but none of them stand out all that well. And I'd say that's kind of what this film feels a bit like. It feels like going to see a Broadway production of something you already like. The music's still good, the music's still there, but, some things might not be as good, but, it's what you like, and it's there again. The production design's very good here, and so are most of the costumes. I know some people have gotten really sniffy about that yellow dress, but I myself, it's fine. Okay, let's take a step back. Calm down. It's a yellow dress. It was fine. Come on. The more legitimate complaint, I think, is in Emma Watson's performance as Belle. Her voice is a little auto-tuned, which I never get too snobby in regards to singing. I think it probably would have been better if they just let her miss the notes a little bit, because the auto-tuning is noticeable and just feels, I'd prefer if they just let her be authentic, because I find when it's singing, it's like kind of the performance of being passionate and such that matters more, the acting going with the singing, more than the singing exactly. But anyways, her performance, though, also does have some problems. She's not particularly endearing as Belle. She's kind of too wishy-washy at times. Sometimes she kind of plays very, very dour for no reason, and sometimes she kind of gets too emotional at the wrong times. And it's a little mixed performance. She, as usual with Watson, she very much, you can kind of see the performance most of the time. She acts a lot. And you can see the attempt more than the success, unfortunately. And I don't think she's completely terrible, but it's definitely not a great performance. In the castle, we have a certain weakness. One of the bigger weaknesses of the film is the CGI of the characters is weak. I mean, the CGI of the environments is pretty good and such, but the character CGI is a bit weak. Sometimes they look completely, detached from the real people interacting with them, and it's actually kind of peculiar in that sometimes it's when they're in darker scenes they look better. In lighter scenes they look particularly phony. And another problem is with the performances of most of the furniture, which aren't bad. In fact, they're more than fine. But Ewan McGregor and Emma Thompson both basically just give imitations of the cartoon equivalents. I preferred Ian McKellen because he brought something a little new to his performance. He didn't just kind of do the exact same thing. Dan Stevens is also pretty good as the Beast. It is similar to Robbie Benson's take, but it doesn't feel like an imitation. He captures kind of like that vicious but also sad side pretty well, along with, reaching the more hearty side of the character in a natural way. The standout of the film, though, quite easily is Luke Evans as Gaston. He completely is just great in the role. He's funny, he's intense, he's actually really quite menacing in it, and he actually finds some new ground because he does go a little darker than the cartoon version, and his Gaston is great, and he delivers his songs incredibly well. Luke Evans, everything he does in it absolutely works. He's great, and so is Josh Gad. He's also very good as his sidekick here, which is where they some controversy has been, but it's basically an afterthought within the film, and really it's been probably made a little too big of a deal just in general, because I think it'd be easy enough for most to not even notice it. Now, as a remake, is it entirely necessary in any regard? No, it doesn't really have a new take. It's just a decent representation of what you already had, and if you already like what you had and you want to see more of that, just in a slightly different way, different performers. I mean, come on. The stage acting in itself is based on repetition of the same material, but with different actors and stuff. So there is an appeal in seeing that different. People getting, again, a little too sniffy about this film, I think, in general. A little too hard on it. It's a well-made film. Not entirely necessary, but it's a good, enjoyable film that if you're not just being grumpy because they made a remake at all, I think you'll enjoy it just fine. And I'd give the film 3.5 reels.